Greetings everyone, welcome to video number 13 in the project management series presented by Process Geekoid. Today's agenda will be going over creating the WBS, which is the 10th process, as well as going over the PMBOK process table. This process occurs at the intersection of the scope knowledge area and the planning process group. Create work breakdown structure is the last planning process under scope planning. As always, please subscribe, like, and comment. So let's move forward. After collecting requirements from relevant stakeholders and defining scope of the project, it is now time to divide the work into relevant buckets, also known as control accounts, where each bucket or control account has multiple planning packages and work packages under it. The purpose of this process is to provide a vision of what product, service, or result is to be delivered from the project. Ultimately, the WBS takes into consideration the scope statement and aims to decompose the scope into smaller manageable components called work packages and planning packages that roll up under relevant control accounts. Similar to other steps in scope planning, creating the WBS and WBS dictionary is a critical element of the project and must be very thorough with clear understanding from the business and IT sides of the house. Once the scope is decomposed using a WBS and stakeholders approve it along with the scope statement and WBS dictionary, this becomes the scope baseline. Recall that the baseline is an approved version that cannot be altered without massive change requests. So a baseline is an approved version. That is what we use to compare our performance to throughout the project. Once the baseline is approved, we cannot tweak it. If we keep tweaking the baseline, we have nothing to compare to, and that results in a lot of issues such as scope issues and schedule delays and cost burn down. And by altering the baseline, we have nothing to compare to, resulting in poor project performance. Typically, at this stage of scope planning, change requests are usually frowned upon after a baseline is established. If too many changes are made, this can contribute to risks such as schedule delays, overstepping the budget, overworking the project team's resources, and not meeting the voice of the customer requirements, resulting in customer dissatisfaction. Next, we will be talking about the Create WBS Work Breakdown Structure ITTOS, Inputs, Tools, Techniques, and Outputs. So this process is subdividing the project deliverables and project work into smaller, more manageable components. The key benefit of this process is that it provides a structured vision of what has to be delivered from this project, whether it be a product, service, or result. For inputs, we have the scope management plan, project scope statement, which is coming from the defined scope process, requirements documentation, which is coming from collect requirements process, enterprise environmental factors, which are factors outside of the project team's control, such as industry standards, regulatory requirements, OPAs or organizational process assets, which are policies and procedures that help us govern how we will create the WBS. These standards are usually defined by the company. Next, for tools and techniques, decomposition. This is where we're taking our work and breaking them down into smaller components. That's the essence of decomposition. Expert judgment is we are using expert judgment in the form of prior documentation, other team members in the project management office that can guide us in doing this, or other projects of similar complexity that was done in the past that we can use as a guide. Outputs are project document updates. These are usually updates to the requirements documentation. Scope baseline is the final approved version of the scope that is used and need to put in a formal change request to get approved. So before we even approve it, there could be last minute changes. Once it's approved, this is used as a baseline, and the scope baseline consists of three important elements. And these are the scope statement, which outlines major pieces being delivered in the project, the risks, assumptions, and constraints. That's what goes under the scope statement, as well as the WBS, which is a work breakdown structure, and WBS dictionary, which is a companion document to the WBS, which explains which control accounts and work packages are tied to it. Now, more detail regarding the WBS is going to be shown in the next slide. So, a structure of a WBS, as shown here, is where the project is broken down into phases, which can have cost and schedule estimates with a rough order of magnitude, which range from -50 to +50%. So let's say that you estimated 100,000, and you could have a safe estimate of 50,000 to 150,000 as an estimate at the project level. Once you're breaking it down into the control accounts here under the phases, that's where you can break it down even more detailed and can have definitive estimates of -5 to +10%, meaning you can have more defined estimates for the activities at hand, which can be broken down into work packages. The work packages are going to be defined at the lowest level, and it belongs to a control account. And these definitive estimates are done for cost and schedule planning. It becomes more clear at work package level as to how much it will truly cost, along with a timeline attached to it. Keep in mind that a planning package is a precursor to a work package, because a planning package only has what you plan to do but does not have a timeline defined to it. When using a definitive estimate, this is an example of bottom-up estimating, where estimates are made from ground up, from work package to control account level, giving a more accurate picture of cost and schedule. So you can see here that the control account is the lowest level, with the work package is the lowest level, and the control account encompasses that, which then ties up to each phase or subdivision of the project. So work package is the lowest level. Then you have control account, which encompasses the overall budget and schedule holding into it, and then goes into the phase. So an example of a WBS is shown here of building a house. So we can break the building house project into different control accounts. This can be project management, the foundation of the house, the building structure, interior of the house, and landscaping. So below that, we have the work packages. So for project management, we have to create the project management plan, scope of the work, planning resources, planning materials. For foundation, we draw the blueprint, dig earth, get material and labor, lay the foundation. Building structure, we have the work packages as get materials, construct pillars and beams, construct walls, finish plumbing work, finish electrical cable work. For interiors, we have design interiors, decide which furniture to use, decide the light fixtures, procure the furniture, procure the light fixtures, and fix the lights, AC, and fans. For landscaping, we have designing the private public areas, lay walkways, set up the lawn, and plant saplings. So each piece under each control account has to belong to that control account. That ensures the 100% rule is being met. So you cannot have a project manager do foundation work or building structure work. So that's what the essence of the 100% rule is, where the lowest level of the work packages must add up to the control account level of work. So in this building house WBS, building related work must add up to building structure WBS. Building structure work cannot be part of landscaping control account, otherwise it would violate the 100% rule. So some key terms to keep in mind regarding the WBS. Work breakdown structure is the decomposition of total scope of project work to be carried out by project team to accomplish project objectives and create a required deliverable. It also details a breakdown of the project work, as we just saw in the previous slide. The WBS dictionary has a listing of information that is found in the WBS, which lists the control account ID or code number, which can be tracked through the WBS dictionary to get more specific information. The control account, as we saw here, right after the project is defined, we have the control accounts under each phase. That is basically a management control point where scope, budget, cost, and schedule are integrated and compared to earned value for performance management. Keep in mind that as a project manager, you're integrating all the information to generate reports to senior management to ensure that you are not burning the budget more than you're supposed to, and make sure that you are in the green for the project in terms of budget and schedule. Next element that to keep in mind here is that for the WBS, you have one control account and have many work packages under it. So for project management, you have project management plan, scope work, plan resources, and plan materials. So each control account can have multiple work packages. Under each work package, you can have multiple tasks, but you can only have one work package or task belonging to one control account. So there's a one-to-one relationship between the work package and the control account, but a one-to-many relationship from the control account to work package. This ensures that the 100% rule is being met. Next, we also have the other important piece is one work package is linked to one control account, and each work package has multiple tasks under it, and this helps emphasize and support the 100% rule. One control account can also have many planning packages. Keep in mind that a planning package is a WBS component below the control account with known work content without detailed schedule activities. A planning package becomes a work package once work is defined with a timeline. The WBS dictionary may not be created until the project manager requests it, and is good to have in the planning phase before executing the project. And key point here is the smallest component of the work breakdown structure is the work package, as we see here. So if we go to project management, the work package is the lowest level. For example, plan materials is a work package example. So keep all these points in mind, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, and comment. And if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer them for you. Thank you for watching.